All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kick It All Off. I'm joined here with Josh Hong. He is our digital marketing coordinator. And I am Nicolas Martinez, our vice president of marketing. And we thought, no better way to kick it off than to talk about how you're going to dominate your Black Friday, Cyber Monday event, also known as Turkey 5. Amazon's clever name for the 5 days that run from Thanksgiving Thursday through Black Friday, through the weekend, all the way to Cyber Monday. We're also going to touch a little bit on some more general Q4 strategies and data, as well as some holiday data. But the main focus today is going to be Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So let's take a look here at the agenda. First, we'll look at some data, right? Why should you guys, care what we have to say, and about Q4? Why should you care? So we'll look at some historical data and some case studies. We'll also go over the proposed structure for the event, which includes a pre-event, a main event, and a post-event. We will talk about how you choose goals for your product selection and your discount type or your discount amount. And we'll touch on and off Amazon advertising as well as marketing. And we'll look at some other important considerations regarding inventory, content, buy box, data analysis, and more. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the data here. We've been in this business for some time, about 7 years now. We've been actively managing brands on Amazon. And as well as Walmart.com. And of course, over those years and hundreds of brands that we've worked with, we've had the opportunity to compile different case studies. And so Josh, if you want to share some of this case study data, that would be excellent. I think it'll captivate everyone's interest in why they should be interested in listening to what we have to say.
Yeah, no, definitely. Great introduction, Nick. I love it. Yeah, so as far as our case studies go, as you guys know, Amazon had a lot of switch arounds as far as Prime Day. Didn't really give us too much knowledge until probably like a month beforehand when the date was. And a lot of the brands that we worked with, they tried their hardest to allocate all those timings of the discounts and units and inventory goes, and it was all jumbled, but we saw some great traction on everything. So we're really excited to share some of these case studies that we had throughout our brands. So if you see here on the 237% lift in sales versus average of the 604% with outliers, 112% lift in sales versus Prime Day of 2020, which is actually 206% with outliers, and then a 44% life in July baseline sales with 336% with outliers. And now, mind you, with Prime Day 2021, we always had this strategy implemented throughout our Prime Days and our Black Friday, Cyber Monday since of last year. And that's why we are also mirroring what we're doing as far as discounts, inventory management, coupons, all these type of other deals with Black Friday, Cyber Monday of this year as well. From last year's data points from Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we saw 164% lift in sales versus the average, and a 99% lift in ad revenue versus the average as well. Next, I'll let Nick take it away with some Q4 2020 that he's found. So please, Nick, take it away.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Josh. And apologies for this typo here. I just realized it said life instead of lift. That is a 44% lift in July baseline sales. When you consider the outliers, it's actually much higher. But we took the liberty of excluding any outliers, which were basically any brands that did over 1,000% for these metrics. We excluded them, and there were a few. So that data was still very impressive as well. But that's looking at our case studies, but let's look at the market as a whole. And I think that's why Q4 2020 data is really important. And we've sourced this data through several different third-party data analytics services and reports, and kind of aggregated it. And so what we saw in Q4 is really interesting, right? Because Q4 2020 was the first Q4 during COVID, right? And we're still, for all intents and purposes, living through COVID. So this data should be relevant, right? And so last year in Q4, sales on Amazon, this is Amazon sales, not e-commerce, sales on Amazon increased 42% year over year. Now that's really impressive, right? But get this, the expected growth this year in Q4 is estimated to be almost just as much, 25 to 40%. So that post, that COVID wave that we saw where e-commerce accelerated in 1 year as fast as they were expecting in 5 years, that is continuing on. And another big reason for this anticipated growth in this year's Q4 is that, especially Black Friday, Cyber Monday, is that retailers have announced that they're going to be closed. Brick and mortar retailers are going to be closed on Thanksgiving. Now, Thanksgiving is one of those 5 days in Turkey, 5, of course. And so all of those people that would, be camping out in front of Best Buy and Walmart and, waiting for that deal on that flat screen and pushing each other over through the front door as well, they're now bringing that to the online space. So people are going to be flooding the stores. It's just going to be online now. And so we expect e-commerce, particularly Amazon, to, of course, be a big part of that. And, I think everyone would be wise to capitalize on that. In addition, last year in Q4, 71% of brands saw sales increase over 30%. I don't know about you, but I would think for most brands, a 30% lift in 1 quarter is pretty tremendous, right? And that's something that you can run with into the new year, into Q1, and really build from as a new baseline, for your sales. And so, when you compare that to what we saw here at Vendo, well, as we mentioned, last year we saw 164% lift in sales versus the average. And I know from a 2019 data point, there was a 72% average lift during Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. So no matter how you cut it, this strategy that we've run and this structure that we're going to go over generates a higher lift in sales than the average across all of Amazon, which I think is a good comparison to be made. Now, when you look at Turkey 5, it's interesting to see the category sales change, right? Because depending on the category you're in, it might impact, how aggressive you want to be with your discounts or how much marketing and advertising you want to implement in order to support it, right? And so if you're looking at this and you're a clothing brand and sales only increased 9% in 2019 during Turkey 5, you might be thinking, maybe I don't need to invest as much. And, there's probably some truth to that, right? You might not have to check off every box. But if you're a brand in like the beauty and health and personal care, the electronics or grocery or home and kitchen categories, those are pretty substantial lifts. And probably good reason to want to capitalize on that and make sure you're getting your products in front of the people that are shopping for those categories during this event. And then the last data point I want to go over is in regard to advertising, because in just a moment, we're going to talk about why you should be increasing your or how you should be increasing your advertising budgets and bids. And the main reason is traffic, right? There's just a flood of people coming in to Amazon during this event. I had a data point from, I think it was 2019 as well, where over 25% of US households made a purchase on Amazon during, I think it was Black Friday, Cyber Monday, maybe Prime Day, right? But they're very comparable. So most, over a quarter of Americans are going to be shopping. And of course, that traffic's going to drive up bids. It's going to drive up your budget, the need for a higher budget. And last year we saw 29%, last year we saw cost per clicks increase by 28%, and we saw impressions increase by 109% during Turkey 5. This year during Q4, there's an expected increase in sales from advertising of 29%. So again, no matter how you cut it, there's good reason to be ramping up budgets and resources for Q4 and T5 specifically.
Yeah, that's great. And another thing too, Nick, that you just mentioned too, since all these brick and mortars are going to be closed down for Black Friday, some Monday, I'm sure a lot more people than the quarter of the Americans that we saw in the 2019 deals, it's going to be increased tremendously. So I'm really excited to see the traction in this, and I'm sure another case study in our way, Freddie here's with the Black Friday on Monday. So super excited about that as well.
Yeah, we're going big this year, and again, I think it's like to your point, it's going to be the biggest Black Friday, Cyber Monday ever.
Yeah.
I would put my money on that. So
Yeah.
a lot of reasons, to support that bet. All right, so let's dig into the event structure, Josh.
Yeah, let's do it. So, like I mentioned in the previous slide, as far as our Prime Day and our Cyber Monday or Black Friday, Cyber Monday, excuse me, deals and our deal structures go, we try to do it as so. The deal structures are from pre-event 1 week before the main event, so Thursday, November 18th to Wednesday, November 24th. Main event being the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or Amazon likes to call it Turkey 5. It's going to be from Thursday, November 25th to Monday, November 29th. And then also the post event 1 week after main event, Tuesday, November 30th to Monday, December 6th. Now, a lot of people always ask us, especially all the brands and our clients that we work with, why do a pre-event and a post-event? Well, great question. The reason being is we try to manipulate Amazon's algorithm and keyword ranking structure by really greasing up your inventory and your product pages for the keywords to really drive the rank and for the main event big sales and events. So that is the main reason for it. And then the post event, the main reason why we do it is if we just do the main event and we just stop all the deals right there, all the hard work that we put into the pre-event and the main event, all those efforts can just go down drastically, and we don't want that. We try to keep it a smooth line as possible and try to have it so that it's steady lined throughout the post event to keep that, that bestseller ranking that we're looking for, or the keyword and the page one ranking that we're looking for, and so on and so forth. So that is the main reason for it. So also, if you see on our case study right there, it says brands that had a lead in and lead out strategy saw average jumps in sales by 16% leading up and 54% leading out. For ads, these investments obtained high sponsor ranking and attracting more eyeballs. As you guys know, or if you guys don't know, Amazon's always just about traffic, traffic, traffic. And I know, Nick, we talked about this, I know I'm sure you talked about this in your previous podcast too, is that a lot of consumers only actually look at, the page one of the keyword, and thereafter it's a, plummet in percentage of people actually, swiping through the page 2 or page 3. So our goals, internally for all our brands is always to go to the top of page 1 in the keywords that we're always targeting for. So that is the main reason why we have this event structure in place.
Yeah. Well said. And just to make sure, everyone's completely on the same page. I also want to call out that, the main event is the, is what most people think of as Black Friday, Cyber Monday, right? But Amazon has strategically really been investing into the pre-event a lot more, and you see this even in recently, where early October Amazon dropped this pre-Black Friday deals, right? And so it's just as much as it's about us leveraging and greasing up the algorithm, it's also about us tapping into the ecosystem that Amazon is curating, right, for their marketplace. And that ecosystem is one in which they're investing resources to drive extra traffic well before Turkey 5. And so if more people are shopping and more people are getting kind of trained to look for deals before the main event, well, that's an opportunity for brands to tap into that and maximize that additional traffic leading up. And then, as Josh had mentioned, that post event is meant to solidify those rankings so that our baseline sales can increase, going into the new year, right? And that's why, like, when we look back at this data here, there was a 44% lift in July baseline sales during our Prime Day strategy. That's the big metric, right? Because it's one thing to have a 237% lift during T5 or during Prime Day. That's amazing. That's great. You're selling tons of product, hopefully bringing in new to brand customers. But how did that work in the long term? Did that really pay off, or were you just giving away a bunch of discounted products for several days and then everything went back to normal? So yeah, this structure is at the core of the reason why we see such high metrics compared to the averages. I would say one of the main reasons. Anyway, so yeah, now that we've said all of that, Josh will take you all through kind of more granularly what that looks like as far as deal types go, discount types go, and then I'll talk a little bit about internal promotions and external promotions.
All right. Yeah. So our pre-event throughout all our clients, like we've mentioned, what we try to do is implement a coupon strategy prior to the main event. So we always recommend at least a 10% discount on the hero items and a 20% on some of the slower moving items that need more love throughout, the deals and the main event that they don't really see during, the baseline sales of just the coming months, right? So we always try to implement the coupons. And then obviously with the advertisement boost, we always suggest at least a 50% increase in the ad budget during these times to really grease up the algorithm. For the main event, we try to do one or more of these promo types and deals, which is lightning deals, 7-day deals, prime exclusive discounts and coupons, and then an ad budget boost of 100%. Now, one or more of these deals like lightning deals and 7-day deals, there are some deadlines depending on if you're a seller central or a vendor central, which they actually give you an email saying that, hey, this is the deadline. So try to implement it as much as possible. And then on those days for lightning deals and 7-day deals, they are a little bit more expensive. I believe the promotion for lightning deals on those days is anywhere from 300 to 500, but the baseline lightning deals cost is actually just 150. So just to kind of really grease up the algorithm, not the algorithm, grease up the deals. Amazon already implements the upcharge on these main event days. So, and also for the percentage, we always recommend at least a 25 to 40%. Reason being, prime exclusive discount, the minimum you can go is actually 20%. And another reason why we do prime exclusive discounts is because we've seen a lot more prime members buying on these type of main event deals. And I actually heard from a friend of mine that does the 1 month free trial for Prime just to get the free delivery deals for Black Friday, so Monday, and then you just quit right after or just stop it right after. So that's really being the main reason for it. And unfortunately, Prime exclusive discount, like I said, is only for Prime members. So we really try to target those audiences for these type of big deal events. And the post event, we do the 10% and the 20% coupons. And again, a 50% boost in ads. And we always recommend trying to do it across all our clients' items. Again, just to really grease up the algorithm and get the keyword ranking we're really looking for. I think that's really it as far as our structure goes for discounts. Nick, if you can take it away from internal promos and external promos, that would be great.
Yeah, certainly. These percentages, boost ads 50% and then 100% are kind of just rules of thumb, if you will. It might be a little bit more, it might be less. It's really just to make sure you're prepared to, not have your ads budgets be exhausted during such a critical sales period. And then the other thing that I want to mention too is with coupons and Prime exclusive discounts, Prime exclusive discounts, your products have to be on Prime. So if your products aren't on Prime, or they don't meet the eligibility requirements of having a 20% discount or more, then coupons are going to be your best bet as a runner-up option. But yeah, talking about internal promo and external promo, I mean, there's so much we could talk about here, but let's tackle internal first. Internal being, what can you do on Amazon to promote further this event, right? And obviously, if you set up a certain deal type like Prime exclusive discounts or coupons, you're going to get a label attached to your products, right? You're going to get a green label for coupons. For Prime exclusive discounts, it's usually a blue label that shows up during this event. And that label is a merchandising tactic. It's kind of like a lead bait in a way, right? It allows your products to show up so much more prominently compared to the competition. So that on its own as a deal type is an internal promotion. But what else can you do, outside of the ads and the merchandising? Well, you can optimize your copy. If it's, and this could be said for other events as well. You want to, if the product is really relevant to the holidays, to Christmas, to, New Year, to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, to Thanksgiving, whatever it is, maybe it's worthwhile even adding those keywords into the title if it's really super relevant. Obviously, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is a huge event with a lot of brands participating. So if everyone did that, it wouldn't really make sense, but there might be an area of opportunity there. Also on the front end and back end, adding keywords, gift type keywords performed really well, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But any of those like gifts or holiday, holiday offering keywords, that could be helpful for search, because we do see those searches, those search volumes increase during this time. Something else that we like to do for our events is build out a dedicated brand store landing page themed by the event and focusing on the products that are part of that event. And then we like to run targeted sponsored brand ads driving to it. And then from an external promotion perspective, there's of course a plethora of what you can do. And if you've listened to our previous podcast, marketing podcast, you've probably heard this philosophy over and over again, which is, do not stop at the gates of Amazon's kingdom, if you will. There's a whole world of marketing and advertising possibilities out there. And I think, it's one thing to leverage everything on Amazon and then kind of graduate to off Amazon marketing and advertising. But it's a whole nother thing to just ignore external promotions altogether. And so even if you just do one or two of these things, I think you're going to be really impressed by the results. And so I'm talking about organic social. If you have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever you're doing already, you leverage that for your Amazon business. Same with paid, Facebook, Google, Snapchat, wherever you're running ads, TikTok. Leverage that for Amazon and for this event. Start promoting and bringing people down your funnel so that when the event comes, you've got a list of ready to buy people in your audience that you can then drive to Amazon just to convert, right? They're already ready to buy. You just got to tell them, hey, this deal started, it's go time. And again, we'll get more granular on a later presentation. Email, if you have an email list, leverage that. If you're okay, driving people from your website to Amazon, if it doesn't conflict with your D2C strategy, that's a good way. Influencers, brand ambassadors, SMS marketing. These are all things that you may be doing already that you just need to tap into with an Amazon specific approach. And there's some cool things you can do to really maximize the benefits of this. Now, we've talked about it in previous podcasts, but I think it's important to say, if there's a new program called the Brand Referral Bonus Program. You want to tell them about it, Josh? The Brand Referral Bonus Program, and how we use links and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So recently, I think it was back in August or July, late July, Amazon actually rolled out something called a brand referral program, which actually, if you bring in external traffic from Amazon from external traffic to Amazon, you actually get a 10% back off of the sale. These Amazon attribution links are, you can be made from your actual campaign manager, which Amazon actually just made recent changes to again. So the ad campaign manager is a whole different story now. But yeah, the brand referral program is great just because, if you're doing any of these external marketing campaigns to drive to Amazon, you can use those special links. And if a customer would click on the link and purchase that product, or go to the brand store and go to the purchase a product as well, you get a 10% back. So that's just, great implementation that Amazon had rolled out. So we really, really urge, a lot of people to start using and utilizing this program. So
yeah. Well said. Long story short, your referral fee, if it's 15%, it'll be 5% for every sale you drive. And you can track the sales, so you actually know which of these external drivers is paying off. If there's even some clever tricks that you can do to target certain keywords for ranking, and all kinds of fun stuff. And if you're working with influencers, you can even take your influencers or affiliates IDs if they're in the Amazon affiliate program, and you can put that ID into the Amazon attribution link. So not only are you getting 10% back, your affiliate influencer is getting their commission paid out from Amazon. It's just a win-win-win-win situation. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, definitely recommend that for any of your external efforts. And then a little bit more specifically to PR. Obviously, PR has been around for a long time. You don't have to be in the digital world to understand PR. But specific to Amazon, we've been running offsite editorials for our brands. It started with on-site editorials and now offsite, and we've had podcasts about this in the past. But essentially, we can get products pitched to networks of publishers that will write on your product and include it in an evergreen editorial, or specific to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holidays, they could get it put into a Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday like listicle. And so there's still enough time to do this. These publishers take about 2 to 4 weeks to make that happen. So, maybe if you miss Black Friday, Cyber Monday, at least December for the holidays, you could get your product placed in an editorial that ranks on Google on page one, number one for a keyword, right? So imagine this: you're looking for a facial steamer, one of the products we work with, and you're like, hey, best deals on facial steamers, or best facial steamers, or holiday deals, or whatever it may be. Your product could come up in a editorial number one, page one on Google for that. And so that's a really interesting way to drive additional awareness and traffic for these deals, and actually be able to attribute it, right? Because everything would be tracked. So there's a lot that can be talked about there. All right, so choosing a goal for each product. You might have been thinking when Josh was taking you through the recommended discounts, why are they recommending 25 to 40%? Where do I fall into that 25 to 40%? Where do I fall in for my advertising budget? I don't want to increase it 100%, or I don't want to, give a 40% discount. So, and that's understandable, right? And while we don't have a crystal ball to say exactly what you should do, there's kind of two ways you can look at it. And it's kind of like gambling. You can higher risk, higher reward, lower risk, typically lower reward. And maybe that's not the most comfortable way to put it, right? Gambling, but you do have to take a bit of a bet on your strategies in your brand, right? And so if you feel like you have the marketing tactics in place and advertising tactics in place to really blow this all out of the water, then you might want to consider a maximizing sales goal. And a maximizing sales goal is basically increasing sales regardless of profit. These are brands that are willing to go into the red during the Turkey 5 event in order to see baseline lifts in sales into the new year that are much greater than where they would have been, right? So they're willing to bet a lot because they want to come out of this event with a higher minimum baseline that can sustain. And higher discounts are likely to bring in more customers, which are gonna spin that Amazon flywheel faster, which is gonna increase your chances of sustaining that category BSR or keyword ranking, right? So brands that are more comfortable with, hey, let's try to blow this out of the water for the long term, they're gonna be okay getting a really slim profit margin or even going into the red. And so they might do the 35 or 40% discounts. Whereas the brand that wants to be in the green during the event and maybe drive a little bit of baseline lift, hopefully, they're gonna go with the sales efficiency goal. And the sales efficiency goal is seeking to maintain a set profitability goal and try to keep advertising sales below a set level, right? And so these are the brands that might not increase ad budget as much, might have a discount of around 25%. We don't recommend going lower than 20 because first of all, you can't submit Prime exclusive discounts during this event if your discount's lower than 20. Second of all, the average discount across Amazon in a 2019 study during this event was 26%. So I always look back at that as, hey, do we want to just be at the average or do we want to be doing better than most brands? And so that would be a goal. So again, just to summarize, maximizing sales, you're willing to discount higher with the bet on higher reward for sustainability. Sales efficiency, the opposite. All right, and so that is choosing a goal. Let's see here if we can go. All right, so now we are on the final slide, additional considerations. And I know we're having this summit about Q4 towards the end of the first month of Q4. So planning now is more vital than ever. We've been planning for this event since the summer, early summer, and there's a lot of work that goes into it, right? But let's try to prioritize here some of the additional considerations. And one of the big ones is inventory management. So there's cutoff dates for Seller Central and Vendor Central. Vendor Central inventory cutoff was 10/22. That has passed, of course. Now, does that mean you can't get inventory into Amazon and have it be available for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holiday? No, but it just means Amazon's not going to guarantee it will be available. So if you fall in that bucket at Vendor Central and you haven't sent in enough inventory, definitely want to jump on that. Now for Seller Central, we have a bit longer. We have till November 15th for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and we have till December 2nd for the holiday. But if you are a brand that ships via LTL, meaning, on a pallet with a special carrier, usually the processing time is 10 business days in addition to the transit time, right? And so what we see though during the holidays is we see that 10 days triple or even quadruple. So that means if you're a brand that wants to send in a pallet to Amazon right now, you better get it out soon, because that November 15th date is only 3 weeks away, and you might be cutting it very close, especially for holiday, and also for holiday as well. And then another best practice, and this really came around, since COVID, it's been more and more important, and that is setting FBM up as a backup. And so, because of Amazon's fluctuating inventory policies and, the supply crisis that, most people are aware we're in right now, there's a lot of chaos with inventory and logistics. And so just to be prepared, for your products to not make it into Amazon's warehouses on time, or maybe not to be able to have enough products at Amazon's warehouse, because they don't let you, or because you sell out too quickly than you were expecting, have FBM as a backup. And that just basically means, you need to have a person or a team that can process those orders and ship them directly from your warehouse or office, or however, directly to the customer rather than Amazon. And if you work with a 3PL, they usually can accommodate that for you, or of course, if you have your own warehouse. And then as far as inventory forecasting goes, looking at last year will be a good indicator of how you should ramp up your inventory. So what kind of growth did you see last year? Looking at combining that with current trends, and then just to be safe, adding another 20 to 50% depending on your inventory situation or supply situation, if you have that to give, because it's not worth it to worry too much about having inventory in for too long, as it is to make sure you don't go out of stock, right? So that's important there. Now, the last thing that I'll say about inventory is the inventory performance index. You're going to want to check that score and make sure that you are performing well with that score. And you're also going to want to see if there's any slow moving or low profit products that you maybe want to turn off to preserve that score, because that IPI score is going to impact your ability to send more inventory into Amazon. So that sums it up for inventory management. Josh, did I miss anything there?
As far as inventory, great points, Nick, that you pointed out. Logistics is just a mess. Ports are filled. A lot of my friends who's actually doing supply chain management, they've been telling me that, well, especially in Long Beach, since we're located in California, that boats have just been literally sitting and docking close to the ports for almost a week or 2 weeks. So you can kind of see like how much the delay is right now for inventory management. And to Nick's point, LTL, faster the better. And if you actually do ship LTL, you can see Amazon's been contracting a lot of these third-party delivery companies as well, because they can't handle the workload right now. So you're just gonna see a lot of delays. So sooner the better. Take action now. And of course, fulfilled by merchant is always going to be the best, backup case that we can go. Of course, profitability wise, because, shipping is going to be a pain in the butt as far as, how much the cost is, but it's better to have it as a backup than not selling any inventory. So I think you already hit all the fine points there as far as inventory management. But yeah, I just really wanted to just point it out that inventory is going to be everything. Marketing, ads, all
Yeah.
those don't matter if you don't have inventory. So get it out the door as
Yeah.
soon as possible.
Ain't that the truth, Josh? Data analysis, we've already dove into the data and how that's important. So looking at your own data from previous events and looking at how you can leverage that to influence your inventory position, as well as your discounts. Maybe you didn't do so well last Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and now you want to ramp up your discounts or your budgets to try to have a different situation. On the content front, optimize, optimize, optimize. Get your products in the best position that they've ever been for this big, Super Bowl event for Amazon, right? And so look at the data, look at your conversion rate or the session unit percentage, as Amazon calls it. Look at your traffic, look at your ranking for keywords, for BSR, for category, and start working now to boost that, right? And that pre-event, it plays into that we talked about, but you can start now. You should be updating your SEO. Looking at, if you haven't updated it in a few months, look at what are the hottest trending keywords relevant. Look at, how's your A+ content performing compared to the competition? How's your copy? Are your products listed with the right search nodes? And that's an interesting one, right? Making sure it's picking up in the search results for those different parameters, making sure your brand store is set up for success, maximizing buy box percentage. That's of course always important, but pricing, making sure if you have issues right now with pricing where you lose the featured offer, you don't want that during this event, right? Because you can't advertise on a product where you don't have the buy box. And we've done some case studies where we see a third of sales drop off when you lose the buy box, because people are just like freaked out with, why isn't there a one-click buy button, right? So making sure that you can have the lowest price possible, so that you maintain that buy box during this event, or alternatively, making sure that other places you sell, the pricing is equal or more to Amazon. That's going to go a long way, because Amazon is looking at what you're pricing your products at elsewhere, and if Amazon isn't the cheapest price, they're going to be more likely to take away that buy box. Resellers, of course, on your product, if this is an issue, there's not a ton you can do in such a short period of time, but we have a strategy here at Vendo, a 6-step channel control strategy, where we increase intensity in trying to remove resellers who are not abiding by your brand's authorized seller agreement or anything like that. So feel free to reach out to us for more advice on getting rid of resellers. We have a really a really great program for that.
Yeah.
We're able to get buy box up to at least 90% within a few weeks almost. And then on Amazon advertising and marketing, as well as off Amazon advertising and marketing, we've dug into that pretty deeply, but just some additional call outs I wanted to mention is check your deals all the way up to the day of the event, because you might submit a Prime exclusive discount and it says approved, and then something happens, right? Maybe your lowest price isn't your lowest price anymore and it's no longer eligible. Maybe your star rating went below the 3.5 or 3 stars that Prime exclusive discounts and coupons require. All kinds of things can happen. So don't just submit it and forget it. Check throughout the event, because if your PEDs, your Prime exclusive discounts, get taken down, well, at least maybe you can still submit a coupon, or you can still do a slash through price cut or something, right? So something to be mindful of there. And then just from an off Amazon call out perspective, leveraging your lookalikes of pre-existing Amazon customers can be helpful in fast tracking that learning curve. So there's ways that you can go about exporting your Amazon customer data and importing it into Facebook and Google, so that you can create retargeting audiences and lookalike audiences. And yeah, think about post Q4 remarketing. Hopefully you've brought in so many new to brand customers that are super, stoked on your product, on your brand. And what are you going to do to nurture them? What are you going to do to, promote that retention and lifetime value? So think about, Are there product inserts in your products now where you're getting the customer to engage, so when they buy, they have a reason to engage with you? Is there review generation tactics set up post-purchase? Is there email follow-ups? Is there off Amazon, marketing that you're going to do to retarget those customers and try to get them to come back and maybe sign up for a subscription? There's a lot that can be done there. So just think about, what are you going to do to nurture that customer after this big event where you've invested so much? Because again, that baseline lift, that sustainability, we want to see that in Q1 2022. We want to see you having coming out of this event with major growth, and it all works together smoothly. So yeah, that is the summary of the dominating Black Friday, Cyber Monday, as well as some holiday and Q4 elements. We dug into data, we dug into the structure of the sales and some of the case studies behind that. We dug into how to go about choosing a discount and ad budget to support your goals. We went into off Amazon and on Amazon advertising and marketing, and also called out some main things that you should be aware of, so that you can run your deals smoothly and get the most bang for your buck. Feel free to let us know if you have any questions. You can email us directly at hello@vendocommerce.com. And yeah, thank you everyone. And Josh, thanks for joining for this today, man.
Of course. I'm so glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. And if you don't subscribe to our podcast, we put out great information like this every week. Every week on Tuesday, we put out a new podcast spanning advertising, marketing, creative, customer service, logistics, all the latest news. So be sure to subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you around next time. Thank you.